Is the Kansas City defense good? No, not really. So Josh Allen, high-powered Buffalo Bill, should have absolutely no problem running him over, right? Well, unfortunately, that is not the case. And there's one very big reason for that. Now, when you look at the Kansas City defense, you see Chris Jones, you see Honey Badger, those phenomenal players. Snead is playing at a very high level. Frank Clark has that high-level potential. We really haven't seen it. And everyone else around them is playing solid football. Some average, some good. And it's not a daunting defense in any way, shape, or form. Yet it would appear Kansas City has a secret weapon. And every single game that we go into when we're doing our breakdowns, we look at the strengths and the weaknesses of the players that are involved. How would you take away what Deshaun Watson likes best? How would you take away what Lamar Jackson does best? How would you take away what Josh Allen does best? How would you take away what Tom Brady does best? Yeah, Kansas City's nailed it every single time. The defensive side of the ball isn't about covering everything. It is about tipping tendencies in your favor so that you can drop down efficiency. And there's somebody, we saw early in the season, we said there's somebody in the Kansas City film room on the coaching side of the defensive side of the ball who is picking off quarterbacks one by one this season. They made Watson's day terrible. They made Lamar's day terrible. Josh Allen had under 70 passing yards with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And Tom Brady, they were blown out before Kansas City called off the dogs and started to chip their way back into the game. Kansas City is tendency wrecking every single major quarterback on their list. And we've been looking into it. We've been trying to figure out, okay, who is the guy who gets this? Is it Spags? Is it not? Could it be someone in the deeper coaching ranks who is really doing this tendency breaking on all these major quarterbacks? And it seems like every single time Kansas City sees somebody special in front of them as a quarterback, they have a way to piece them apart. And at this point in time, we don't know. We still don't know. But our best guess is that there's a tandem of coaches who are low ranking in the Kansas City group. One of them is the son of Whittingham, the coach who coached Utah football, played at Utah. They seem to be breaking these tendencies and bringing in this subtle twist that Kansas City is doing on defense to tip everything in their favor. And that's what you saw versus Buffalo the first time. With Kansas City, you saw show blitz, bail. You saw a mix of coverages. You saw blitzes off the slot. All the boxes were checked on how to stop Josh Allen and this Buffalo offense. And it worked like a charm. Josh Allen had 9 completions and under 70 yards in the fourth quarter. Then Kansas City dropped Sorensen early in the snap, acknowledged that they were in zone, 5 of 5 down the field, roughly 60 yards of offense, and a quick touchdown for Buffalo. Buffalo didn't move the ball until Kansas City called off the dogs. And basically what they did was a more creative thing, or creative version of what Baltimore did. Baltimore didn't send a lot of blitz, but they showed some blitz. They bailed out of it. They played a lot of man coverage, a lot of safety behind it, and they made Allen throw players open. They made Allen fire the ball into areas where there wasn't a lot of separation. The only time the Buffalo offense really worked well is when they got the run game going a little bit with Singletary. They called the slip pass to the tight end to get past the blitz look. They got Diggs a number of times on Jimmy Smith or Tramon Williams to get that isolated best option against a corner who had no chance versus him. That was what Dabble checked to on the one drive that they were able to put down the field. But the rest of the day for Josh Allen was a struggle. And you can blame the wind all you want, but it wasn't the wind. It was the fact that he had to throw with everything in his ability to fight through the wind and time up wide receivers in tiny windows. That is not who Josh Allen is. He does not like to process after the snap. And that is what Kansas City made him do constantly. There were multiple plays in the Kansas City game where there was a player for Buffalo wide open. Josh Allen never saw him. And after game 1, there is no reason to change that for Kansas City. And for Dabble, there's very few answers to that. Because all of that is the part of the play that is on your quarterback. You can't help him process after the snap. He has to find what's there. Every play has the answer built into it. Josh Allen has to find it. And against Kansas City the first time, he absolutely did not. Now, there's an example or an excuse out there I've heard that the left shoulder harness was hurting Josh Allen. Maybe true, but my concern is his vision. It's not his arm. So despite the fact that Kansas City's defense isn't this world record defense, it isn't as good as Baltimore. They understand you better than anyone in the league. And if they come out running all the tendency breaker stuff that they ran the first time they played Buffalo, it's going to net the same results. It is going to be difficult for Allen to process after the snap. It is going to be hard for him to find the right guy. There are going to be doubles on ones. There are going to be zone drops out of blitz looks. He's going to go from man to zone. And they're going to switch it up on him and make him think. And when you make Allen think, he slows down. And that allows the pressure to get there. Blitzing Badger and Snead off the slot is exactly where you want to bring pressure on Allen. And while this doesn't silence the offense, it makes for an extremely long, difficult day. Now, if Kansas City's offense is able to pull off the efficiency that they had in the first game, Allen's not going to get a lot of shots at it, which means every drive is going to count a great, great deal. And if Kansas City gets into a groove like they got into with him the first time, you're going to see a two-quarter spell where nothing happens for Buffalo, and Kansas City's just going to pile on points. You can't have your offense put out that output in a game when the other offense has the level of efficiency Kansas City can bring to Buffalo's defense. That is not a winning formula at all. So while we've said all season that Josh Allen has a kryptonite, Kansas City knows it. Buffalo put up 206 total yards against Kansas City in the first matchup. Josh Allen hadn't topped 100 passing yards heading into the fourth quarter with 9 minutes left to go in the game. And it was a struggle all day. After a 10-point showing on offense with one of the drives being completely manufactured by Dabble, Josh Allen supporters, you need this one. You need him to show that this kryptonite isn't kryptonite anymore. And I don't believe, after seeing what Baltimore did to them last week, that you're going to see much different this week against Kansas City, because they know how to cover you. They know how to turn his head around in circles. They know how to bring pressure on you the way that Baltimore didn't even attempt. This is all slanted Kansas City because they understand what you do. And it's not simply understanding what you do, it's proving they can do what you don't want to see. They've already done this. They're going to do it again. So this game 100% falls on the shoulders of Josh Allen being able to process what is happening to him post-snap. That will be the decider. If he cannot, this game is a rout. If he can show up and start proving that, then maybe we can talk about how he's developed so much this year. Good luck to both teams. Buffalo, this is it. This is the proof. One thing to beat Indy when they lay 10 points on the field, another thing to beat Baltimore when their offense doesn't show up. But this team is the most complete team you're going to face this year, and if you can't get over the mountaintop, you don't deserve the mountaintop. I love you guys. We need you. Stay strong, and I'll see you on the other side.